Today we will be learning about stridor, acute epiglottitis, acute laryngotracheobronchitis and foreign body aspiration, meaning the upper respiratory tract disorders. Okay. So what is stridor? Stridor শুনেছিস কেউ কখনো? So it is a sound, it is a respiratory sound which originates from the upper respiratory tract. So what is it? Let's see. Stridor is an abnormal high-pitched breath sound produced by turbulent airflow through a partially obstructed airway at the level of supraglottis, glottis, subglottis and trachea. So if there is complete obstruction, you won't be able to hear any sound. But since it is partial obstruction, there is airflow. That's why you are getting to hear the sound. So obstruction gulo ei supraglottis, ei jayagata dekh, supraglottis, glottis, subglottis and trachea. ওই জায়গাটায় যদি কোনো obstruction হয় partial, you will be able to hear stridor in the patient. Currently, we have a patient in our PICU who is having stridor. You can go there and hear the sound. Stertor. What is stertor? Stertor is a snoring-like respiratory noise due to obstruction in the nasopharynx or the oropharynx. What are the causes? If there is choanal stenosis. What is choana? Posterior nares. Okay. So if there is choanal stenosis, you will be able to hear a sound which is called stertor. If there is enlargement of the tonsils or adenoids, okay, adenoids kothay thake? Nasopharynx, okay, and redundant upper airway tissues. So ei jayagatai if there is any obstruction in this area, you will be able to hear stertor. For simplicity, you should remember about stridor. If there is any obstruction in the upper respiratory tract, partial obstruction, you will hear a sound which is called stridor. Now, what are the types? Types hoche inspiratory, expiratory, biphasic, means inspiratory and expiratory both. And when it is inspiratory? When there is airway obstruction at the level of the vocal cord or above the level of the vocal cord. When is it expiratory? When there is obstruction at the level of thoracic part of the trachea and bronchi. Just remember at or above vocal cord and below vocal cord. Okay. Biphasic means inspiratory, expiratory when there is a total obstruction like vocal chordal level, that is glottis, then subglottis, cervical, trachea. অনেকটা জায়গা জুড়ে obstruction থাকলে inspiratory, expiratory both পাবে. So just look at this diagram. So inspiratory stridor when you are getting obstruction at the level of pharynx and supraglottis. Okay. Expiratory, thoracic, trachea, bronchi. Biphasic is the in-between area, the glottis, subglottis and cervical trachea. Is it clear to you? Okay. Now, let us see what is the mechanism of stridor. Mechanism is stridor can occur, egulo place gulo to dekhiyechi, stridor occurring at the level of nose, mouth, larynx, epiglottis, supraglottis, glottis, subglottis, trachea. So look at this diagram. These are the two vocal cords, okay, and this opening is the glottis, and this structure is called the epiglottis, and here below this structure is trachea or windpipe. যেটা ভেতরে আছে, the tubular structure, that is the trachea or windpipe. Okay, and it is guarded by these cartilages. Okay. Now, arytenoid, cricoid, laryngeal cartilages, you remember the name of the laryngeal cartilages. So here this is the place of the aryepiglottic folds. Okay. Now what happens? Infant or child's lumen is naturally narrow than adult. So there is some difference between the adult airway and the infant or children's airway. what happens? The lumen is small, therefore any minor reduction, therefore to make it simple, suppose in children the neck is small, so the lumen of the airway is small. So if a child is having even a simple cough cold, that can create significant distress to the baby rather than it causes to the adult. Very commonly now, because of the season change and things, many children are coming to the OPD with cough cold. When we take history, invariably we get that the parents are also having cough cold. But the parents are not having any distress, but the babies are having it, because the amount of mucus which is causing no problem in the adults, that amount of mucus, secretion, cough, that is causing huge distress for the baby. So we are getting many children with bronchiolitis, we are getting asthma, okay, these are very common in children rather than adults. Because of the narrow airway, the airway resistance in babies are more than adults. Now we are talking about some congenital causes of stridor. Just look at the diagram. This diagram, it's a very favorite MCQ question, image-based MCQ question. They will just give you this diagram and they will give you some options, 4 options, and you will have to make a spot diagnosis. So what you can see? An omega-shaped epiglottis. So it is laryngomalacia, and laryngomalacia is the most common cause of congenital stridor, more than 70%. Followed by vocal cord paralysis. This picture represents vocal cord paralysis. In ENT classes, you will be more and more explained about these things when you will learn about vocal cords, the anatomy of the vocal cord, the function of the vocal cord problems. There are many pathologies of the vocal cord polyp. Okay, there are many pathologies or diseases involving the vocal cord. So those will be taught in the ENT classes in detail. But the things we need to learn in pediatrics, I am mentioning it. So this picture represents vocal cord paralysis. Look at this diagram. You are able to see the vocal cord, but just look at the glottis. Here it is open. It is open, but here it is so small. So it is subglottic stenosis. And look at this picture. You can see a cyst. So this is a subglottic cyst. So these are all causing stridor because the airway is becoming narrow. Now look at this picture. In between the two vocal cord, you are getting a membranous structure. This is laryngeal web. Okay. Now here this picture is representing a vascular anomaly that is compressing the trachea. Okay. Now this is a picture of laryngeal cleft. That is a congenital anomaly. This one represents a lymphangioma, a tumor, a mass that is creating pressure over the larynx. That is why the larynx is becoming narrow and you will be able to hear stridor. Now look at this picture. There is a fleshy mass in this region. Red fleshy mass, red color. So this is subglottic hemangioma. It is also a mass, it is causing the pressure effect. Okay. Now we come to acquired causes. So number 1 is the trauma. How can there be trauma? Thermal trauma or chemical trauma, intubation trauma. When we are intubating a child in PICU, there can be trauma to the vocal cord because intubating a baby is a difficult job. It is not so easy like adults. Adults have a constant shape and size of the glottis. But in children, the airway shape and size is variable. So we need to change the size of the endotracheal tube. We need to modify the sizes of the laryngoscopy blades by looking at the glottis as per age of the baby, as per weight of the baby. It's a difficult job. Maintaining airway in a child is a difficult job. So invariably there can be some amount of trauma to the epiglottis, to the vocal cords, to the glottis. So suppose there is trauma, again it will heal, there will be some granulation tissue, there may be fibrosis later on and the size of the airway can shrink if there is significant trauma. Now inflammation, we will talk about these conditions like acute epiglottitis, acute laryngotracheobronchitis, retropharyngeal abscess, diphtheria, okay. Foreign body, if in the larynx or the trachea or bronchus a foreign body is entering, that will also cause stridor, okay. Or if there is a esophageal foreign body, that can cause compression on the larynx, okay. Now allergy, there is a condition called angioneurotic edema that can cause swelling of the larynx, swelling of the esophagus. So when the mucosa will swell up, the lumen will become small. That's why there will be stridor. Now there is a condition called juvenile papillomatosis. Those are viral warts-like thing. Human papilloma virus causes papillomatosis of the vocal cords. Again, the lumen will become small and there will be stridor. Now we talk about the things we have already talked about. It is summarized in this slide. So stridor can be congenital, can be acquired. Congenital causes are laryngomalacia, wave, stenosis, hemangioma, vocal cord palsy. Then again, tongue and jaw abnormalities. Actually, in neonates, this Pierre-Robin syndrome is very commonly encountered. So what happens in Pierre-Robin syndrome? There is some problem of the tongue and the jaw. The jaw is located backwards. That is called retrognathia. So since the jaw is small, the airway is also small. Okay, that's why there is already a partial airway obstruction. And that's why in those babies, very commonly we encounter stridor. Now we come to the acquired causes. So acquired causes, suppose the baby was not having stridor from the beginning, but suddenly something has happened and baby has started having stridor. So whether the baby is having fever or baby is having no fever or fever, that is afebrile or febrile. Afebrile causes are papilloma, injury, foreign body, laryngeal edema, adenoid and tonsil hypertrophy. But febrile causes, mean the baby is sick. A sick baby is having stridor. What are the causes you will have to keep in mind? The baby is running high grade of fever as well as stridor. First and foremost cause is acute epiglottitis. We will learn about this in the class. Acute epiglottitis, acute laryngitis, laryngotracheitis, diphtheria, retropharyngeal abscess, infectious mononucleosis, peritonsillar abscess. In ENT class, you have already learned about, or you will learn about it, peritonsillar abscess. It is also called quinsy. You will learn of it is a very critical condition. You need to treat it immediately, otherwise the airway will become obstructed. Peritonsillar abscess is a very dangerous condition. Infectious mononucleosis is also a disorder which affects the tonsils and the lymphoreticular system of the body, the mononuclear system. And diphtheria is also a killer disease. You will learn about diphtheria. We will take class on diphtheria in the subsequent classes. Okay. Today we will concentrate on epiglottitis, laryngotracheitis, foreign body. Okay. Now we will learn about the approach. Always an approach will start with history. You have learnt about taking history in the clinical classes. So let us see. Onset. What was the onset of the stridor? So stridor was present at birth, or if it is present since birth, we will consider to be congenital causes like laryngeal wave, vocal cord palsy, or few weeks after birth, that is laryngomalacia. Laryngomalacia can be present at birth also, but it can evolve, it can take some time to present also. Then effect of position. If we change the position of the baby, whether the stridor is disappearing. For example, in the prone position, if it is disappearing, it is because of laryngomalacia, micrognathia, macroglossia. Because just think, you are making the baby prone, so the larynx is getting some space. Okay, if you are making the baby, the larynx was lax, just make the baby prone. Supine position e aro airway ta bondo hoye jacche. Make the baby prone. ঠিক আছে? The airway will become a bit patent, the baby will be able to breathe. Okay? Same case for micrognathia, like in Pierre-Robin syndrome. Jawta small আছে, prone করে মুখটা যদি open করে দেওয়া যায়, ठीक है, then it will be easier on the baby. As well as macroglossia, in supine position tongue is falling back, so make the baby prone, the airway will become open. Effect of crying, if you cry, the stridor will disappear in bilateral choanal atresia. It is also a very bad condition. A baby is becoming blue when the baby is not crying because the choana is blocked totally, atresia. When the baby is crying, the mouth is becoming open. At that point of time, the cyanosis disappears and the stridor disappears. So in that case, we will consider there is some problem with the choana or the nasopharynx. So, and also when you cry, larynx collapses more and more. So it will worsen in laryngomalacia. Progression. If it is rapidly progressing with drooling, it is acute epiglottitis. Gradually progressing, it is hemangioma or croup. Croup is acute laryngotracheobronchitis. Now fever. Fever is indicative of epiglottitis, croup, retropharyngeal abscess, laryngeal diphtheria. Other factors like following a choking episode. We will think about foreign body aspiration first. Worsening with feeding. Suppose during feeding the child has started having stridor. Then what may be the causes? Tracheoesophageal fistula, vascular compression, tracheomalacia. Remember about tracheoesophageal fistula. TOF is a condition where there is a communication between the esophagus and trachea. The mother is feeding the baby. The milk is going from the esophagus to the trachea and the baby is choking. And stridor is starting. Okay. Now we will examine the baby. Again, looks toxic. It is suggestive of acute epiglottitis. Now look at the decubitus. I will show you the tripod position in the subsequent slides. If the baby is in the decubitus means what? It is a position of the patient. Okay. What position is the child preferring to remain comfortable? Okay. Decubitus is a point under general survey. Okay. So decubitus tripod position is found in acute epiglottitis. Again, fever I have talked again and again. Urticaria edema in angioneurotic edema. Cutaneous hemangioma in subglottic hemangioma. Unilateral decreased air means foreign body is there. Acta side air entry com. It will indicate a foreign body has entered. If there is any disease, it usually becomes bilateral. If there is any problem in the upper airway, so duto side air entry will be decreased. No. If only one side you are getting, no, I am not able to hear breath sounds properly and the baby is having stridor, it is indicative of foreign body dislodged. Cyanosis and murmur, it is indicative of congenital heart disease. Now we will investigate. What things we will do? We can do X-ray chest in PA lateral view to see the radio-opaque foreign body. Radio-opaque foreign body will be seen in X-rays, not the radiolucent. Okay. Now what can you do for radiolucent? You can do fluoroscopy, but not commonly done. You can go for CT scan with contrast that can detect the radiolucent foreign bodies as well as any mediastinal mass, any congenital vascular anomalies. Okay. Now you can go for angiography. If there is vascular anomaly, it is a rare condition. But if there is vascular anomaly and we want to operate the baby, we will do angiography. By angiography, we will be able to locate the area of the vascular anomaly and that can be operated by surgeons, the cardiothoracic vascular surgeons. Esophagogram can be done with contrast, that is we put a contrast in the dye in the esophagus. So we will be able to see the esophagus as a whole. So esophagus ta dekhe niye ki khujbo if there is any tracheobronchial fistula or aberrant vessels or esophageal atresia. Esophagogram commonly kora hoy. Dekbe ENT te porbe achalasia cardia, nana rokom. So we are doing esophagograms. Okay, so barium swallow. So those are esophagogram only. Gram means ki picture of the esophagus is esophagogram. Okay. Now we will talk about the common causes. The acute epiglottitis, croup, retropharyngeal abscess and foreign body. Mainly three things we will talk about. Now just look at the slides. These are very interesting slides. Acute epiglottitis. So this is the epiglottis. What is acute epiglottitis? It is an acute inflammation. This is a very favorite short note. Write about acute epiglottitis. 5 marks. What will you write? It is an acute inflammation in the supraglottic region of the oropharynx with inflammation of epiglottis, vallecula, arytenoid and aryepiglottic folds. Rapidly progressive, common in which age group? 3 to 6 years age group. And it is an emergency case as the time interval from start of symptom to total respiratory obstruction is extremely short. Could rapidly progress korbe and the baby may even die. It's a life-threatening condition. So the time of intervention is very important. Identify and act quickly. So what is the cause? Haemophilus influenzae type B virus. Therefore, vaccination of the baby is very important. Okay? Symptoms. Just look at the baby. How sick the baby is. Okay? Just look at how he's keeping the mouth open. He's trying to breathe. He is in so much of distress. The baby is in so much of distress. The face is totally flushed. Okay? Fever, acute sore throat, muffling of voice, stridor. There is marked dysphagia. The baby is not able to eat anything. There is drooling of saliva from the mouth. Okay? The baby is not able to even swallow the saliva. That's why the saliva is getting drooled from the mouth. And signs are the baby is toxic. This position is called the tripod position. Just look at the position of the arms. হাত দুটো দেখ কেমন করে সাইডে রেখে মানে একটা সামনে ঝুঁকে আছে. The baby is forward and the hands are on both sides and mouth is open and is just trying to breathe. So this is a very distressing condition and respiratory distress, and if the obstruction becomes very significant, the baby will have cyanosis. That is a very bad situation. You will have to intubate the child. And intubation is also difficult. Why? Because the glottis is very narrow. Because the epiglottis is all swelled up. Okay? Now, epiglottis is swollen red mass. This is the laryngoscopic picture. Just this is a normal picture. Normal epiglottis is this, and look at this epiglottis. Can you even intubate the baby? I am not even able to see the glottis. It is so difficult. You can even need an anesthetist to come and do it. Because I can try, sometimes I can try, it can happen once. But if I am not able to do it, I will have to give an emergency call book to the anesthetist team. Please come and intubate the child. Even if I start giving positive pressure ventilation like bag mask, it won't work because the airway is blocked totally. Na? Okay. So, the surrounding areas in the larynx and pharynx congested and swollen. This structure is the endotracheal tube. Okay, this is the endotracheal tube. Now we will also send blood cultures. X-ray lateral view. This is an MCQ question. Thumb sign. So what is the thumb? Look at this. I am tracing the pointer. This one. This is the epiglottis. Thumb sign. X-ray lateral view will show large and swollen epiglottis. Now what is the treatment? First airway, breathing, circulation. Then IV antibiotics, cefotaxime, third generation cephalosporin, cefotaxime or ceftriaxone for 7 to 10 days, and obviously intubation. If required, you will have to intubate the child. So look at this structure. This is the tube. This is the epiglottis. Now we will talk about, so will you be able to write a short note on acute epiglottitis? Yes, everyone? Okay, good. Now we will talk about croup. Again, this is a very favorite question. This is also given as a long question in ENT as well as pediatrics. Croup is a very important topic. Okay. Now, what is croup? So, acute laryngosis, just look at the terminology. Terminology to বুঝতে পারলে তুই লিখতে পারবি. So, it is an acute condition and it is a laryngotracheobronchitis. Extensive area. Laryngotracheobronchitis. কি হচ্ছে দেখা যাক? Commonly seen in children up to 6 months to 3 years. What happens? Para-influenza viruses type 1, 2, 3, they are responsible for about 80% of the cases. How does it spread? By direct inhalation from a cough and or sneeze or contamination by hands. That is, it is an airborne disease. একটা অ্যাডাল্টের যদি প্যারা ইনফ্লুয়েঞ্জা ভাইরাস ইনফেকশন হয় and there is a child at home, the baby will catch it. বড়দের অতটা ক্রুপ হয় না. Our airways are strong, big lumen. Okay, we can handle it, but the babies can't. Okay. Now, most likely it occurs during winter and early spring. This time, the season change, we are getting cases. We have already started getting cases of croup. Winter and early spring. Now, what is the pathophysiology? Inhalation of virus through the nose and nasopharynx. Then respiratory epithelium is becoming inflamed and edematous. Then airway is becoming narrow and airflow is becoming turbulent. That is giving rise to stridor. Look at this. This is normal larynx and this is the inflamed larynx. So that সব কিছু swelled up হয়ে গেছে. এর epiglottic folds, vocal cord গুলো swollen হয়ে গেছে, epiglottis swollen হয়ে গেছে, সব swollen. So lumenটা দেখ কতটা narrow. This is the normal glottis and this is the glottis you get in croup. Okay. So look at this picture. Again the same picture. Croup এ এত ছোট হয়ে যায়. Narrow of the trachea. If the tracheal mucosa is becoming edematous, trachea is becoming narrow. Now what is happening inside the trachea? This is the windpipe. This is the larynx. Healthy windpipe. And just look at this. Swollen tissue. Airway is becoming narrow and you are getting croup. Understood? A narrow area ta appreciate kor. It is so narrow. Here it is okay, here it is okay, but this portion is so narrow. So that is giving rise to stridor. Okay. Now what are the clinical features? Non-specifically, in any viral infection, there will be rhinorrhea, running nose and sore throat and cough. But the baby will have fever. It may be even more than 40 degrees Celsius. And hoarseness of voice, barking, cough, stridor. These are the features. And X-ray, this is also an MCQ question, an image-based question. What is it? Just look at the pointer. This is the normal trachea and this is so narrow. This is a steeple sign. Understood? Steeple sign. So in epiglottitis we are getting which sign? Thumb sign. And in croup we are getting which sign? Steeple sign. Don't confuse between these two things. ঠিক আছে? So steeple sign is signifying the subglottic narrowing. Now what is the management? There are categories of croup: mild, moderate to severe. If the baby is good, the baby is healthy, the baby is having stridor, but it is not very distressing to the patient, the saturations are maintaining, the baby is just a bit dehydrated, we will reassure the mother, oral hydration and education. I am counseling the mother, yes, this condition is croup. Since the baby is having a mild categorization, I am just going for conservative management. Okay, but we are continuing to monitor the baby. And moderate to severe, when there is partial or very complete obstruction of the trachea is occurring or larynx is occurring, we will have to manage airway breathing circulation. We will have to give epinephrine nebulization, that is adrenaline nebulization, and single dose dexamethasone within first 24 hours. This is the main thing. Single dose dexamethasone should be given immediately. The dose is 0.6 milligram per kg IM. Okay. And budesonide nebulization can be given. If medical management is unsuccessful, we will have to go for invasive ventilation. Just remember the name of the drugs: adrenaline nebulization, dexamethasone single dose intramuscular, budesonide nebulization. Okay. Don't forget dexamethasone. This is the main thing. Now, differences between epiglottitis and croup. Epiglottitis will be toxic, unwell. And abrupt onset, this is having viral prodrome and slower onset. High fever, croup is having moderate fever. Stridor is moderate to severe, croup is mild to moderate. Cough minimal or absent, but in croup there will be barking cough. And speech, unable to speak, croup is having hoarse voice. And secretions, unable to swallow, drooling of saliva, but croup the baby will be able to swallow. Croup drooling of saliva ta hobe na. Now we will talk about Foreign body aspiration. Any question from epiglottitis or croup? Any questions? Okay. Now let's proceed to foreign body aspiration. So look at this foreign body. Introduction. Common cause of acute stridor. Peak incidence 6 months to 3 years. Site where the foreign body gets lodged depend on the size and nature of the foreign body. Foreign body can be anything. Most common is food. At a small baby, if he is trying to eat peanuts, it will dislodge. He will not be able to swallow. So, eating habit of the baby is very important. We don't give solids in the newborn baby. Why? Because the baby is not able to swallow. That's why food is itself an agent which can cause choking in the baby. Choking is very common in infants, in younger babies. So always be very careful what you are giving the baby to eat. You will have to keep it in mind whether the baby is able to handle it. Okay, don't give peanuts to a 1-year-old. He will choke. Okay. Now clinical features. Acute presentation will be cough, respiratory distress, blood-stained sputum. Foreign body larynx is found in 1 to 5%. Larynx se jodi foreign body jay, there will be hoarseness, croupy cough, aphonia, hemoptysis and wheezing and cyanosis. If the foreign body is in trachea, there will be persistent cough and asthmatic wheezing. If there is foreign body in bronchi foreign body maximum jay, that is 80 to 90%. সেখানে কি হবে? ওটা তো বেরোবে না। bronchi তো মানে একদম ভেতরে চলে গেছে। So that will give rise to pneumonia, lung abscess. There will be hemoptysis. There can be even bronchiectasis if you are not able to diagnose it early. Okay, and diminished air entry, unilateral wheeze. We get many patients recurrent pneumonia হচ্ছে। When we are investigating on bronchoscopy, the diagnosis is done ki na there was a foreign body dislodged. এতদিন ধরে একটা foreign body ঢুকেছিল যেটা পরে bronchoscopy করে remove করা হলো। When it is going more and more inside, symptoms will become less, but there will be more and more lung inflammation, recurrent pneumonia, lung abscess, bronchiectasis. Okay. What are the investigations? We do chest X-ray. Chest X-ray কি করবে? রেডিও ওপেক গুলোকে দেখতে দেবে। 80% of laryngotracheal foreign body and 15 to 25% of bronchial foreign body. What will you see? Look at this X-ray. On chest X-ray, you see air trapping. This portion is hazy. Okay, opacity is in the left lung, but look at the right lung. There is air trapping, compensatory emphysema. X-ray class e bolechilam hoyto compensatory emphysema eta that. Tale air trapping and mediastinal shifting. If the air trapping is more, there will be mediastinal shift to the opposite side. Okay, atelectasis in this portion, this lung is collapsing. Okay, and lobar collapse or consolidation. So foreign body can be visualized on X-ray if it is radio opaque. What are the radio opaque? Like radio opaque things are metal things, button batteries. Okay, those are the radio opaque things. But vegetable foreign body is not radio opaque. Khete khete jeta o aspirate korlo, that is not radio opaque. So it is very difficult to diagnose. Okay. Now bronchoscopy or laryngoscopy, actually these things are both diagnostic and therapeutic. Suppose the patient is not getting well, the patient's condition is deteriorating and you are having a serious hunch, now this is foreign body. You do a laryngoscopy or bronchoscopy. If you are getting to see the foreign body, take it out. Now whether rigid or flexible, both rigid and flexible can be done. ENT class you will be shown the laryngoscopes, everything. CT scan you can also do. Okay. Now look at the investigation here. This is a bronchoscopic picture. This is a foreign body in right bronchus. Okay. Here look at this foreign body, right bronchus. Understood? Now this is also a very important maneuver. জিজ্ঞেস করে পরীক্ষায়, ঠিক আছে? What is Heimlich maneuver? a baby is choking in front of you while eating, what will you do? You will perform the Heimlich maneuver. How will you do? Again, these are the advanced things. If the patient, the foreign body is not coming out by Heimlich, you will have to admit the child in emergency immediately. Laryngoscopy or bronchoscopy will have to be done to take it out. Okay, so these are the laryngoscopy, bronchoscopy, and again in the more serious cases, surgeon will do open thoracotomy. Beyond our scope of care, the child will be taken care by surgical team, but we can always do Heimlich maneuver. What is, just look at the picture. This child has choked on food and choking sign. This is the choking sign. The child, he's showing like this. You will have to understand that there is some choking there. Immediately, particularly this is a very common scenario in restaurants. While eating, somebody is holding the neck, you will have to identify, no, this is choking. Okay. Now what is the person doing? Lean the person forward. Okay. Lean the person forward slightly and stand behind him or her. Pechone dariye gelo and the person is leaning forward, holding his neck, leaning forward. Then the person is making a fist with one hand. Okay, ekta hath theke fist korlo. Then number 3, put your arms around the person and grasp your fist with your other hand. Just look at this. Okay, near the top of the stomach, just below the center of the rib cage, and make a quick hard movement inward and upward. Okay, can anybody demonstrate এটা কি করা আছে? একজন করে দেখাও একটা বন্ধুর উপরে। Anyone, যেটা লেখা আছে just do it. Then only you will be able to remember what is Heimlich maneuver. ঠিক আছে, অনেকক্ষণ টানা পড়া হলে একজন কেউ ডেমনস্ট্রেশন দাও। Show your friends, দেরকে দেখাও। Show your friends. No, show your friends. So you have choked on a foreign body. Show the universal choking sign to your friends. Okay, show them. Okay, show the choking sign. এই যে পেশেন্টটা কি করছে এরকম। So he has choked on food. Now his friend has come to rescue him. What he will do? তুই পেছনে দাঁড়িয়ে পড়ো এরকম দেখে। হ্যাঁ, তো একটা হাতে ফিস্ট এরকম করে ধরে ওকে পেছন থেকে ধর। হ্যাঁ, স্টমাকের উপরে। হ্যাঁ, স্টমাকের উপরে। হ্যাঁ, এবারে প্রেসারটা ইনওয়ার্ড আর আপওয়ার্ড। হ্যাঁ, গুড, ভেরি গুড। ঠিক আছে, ভেরি গুড। ঠিক আছে, তাহলে ও যে ফিস্টটা রাখলো স্টমাকে, এপিগ্যাস্ট্রিয়ামের উপরে, and he is giving the pressure inward and upward. So what is happening? At a thrust elo, the foreign body will come out of the mouth. Very common meat bone impaction. যেটা একটা মিটের পিস খাচ্ছে, হাড়টা গলায় আটকে গেল। যদি তুমি আর্লি অ্যাক্ট করো তাহলে ওটা বেশি নিচে যাবে না, সঙ্গে সঙ্গে বেরিয়ে যাবে। So always be alert. You are doctors. Now if you find any scenario like this in the restaurant or anywhere, even with a stranger, just try it once. You may not be successful, but this maneuver works in most of the scenarios. Understood? তাহলে Heimlich ভুলবি না তো কেউ। Heimlich maneuver. Okay. Now suppose we are having a small baby. Small baby তে তো ওরকম ভাবে করতে পারবো না। Small baby কে কেমন করে ধরেছে দেখ। Place the infant stomach down across your forearm and give 5 thumbs on the infant's back with heel of the hand. মানে ইনফ্যান্ট ধরো চোখ করলো, বেবিটাকে এরকম ভাবে ধরে জাস্ট ব্যাকটার উপরে থাম্ব দিতে হবে, তাহলে বেবির মুখ থেকে বেরিয়ে যাবে। ঠিক আছে, জাস্ট এমনি সিম্পল। আ বেবি ক্যান বি লিফটেড ভেরি ইজিলি, এমনি করে প্রোন পজিশনে ধরে জাস্ট ব্যাক, মানে ইন বিটুইন দ্য টু স্ক্যাপুলা ইউ আর গিভিং থাম্ব উইথ দ্য হিল অফ দ্য হ্যান্ড, এরকম 5 বার। তো the foreign body will come out. Place the infant's stomach down across your forearm and give 5 thumbs on the infant's back with heel of your hand. Now, this is also another maneuver. He is leaning over a chair and trying to do it because there is no rescuer here. But it's a difficult thing to do. Okay. So look at this picture. This is also this is for small children. Here she is trying to do with this child. Okay. So একটা হাত হচ্ছে ফিস্টিং করে আছে, আরেকটা হাত উপরে। So one hand is in a fist and the other hand is covering it from top. Now, this is laryngoscopy, bronchoscopy, rigid bronchoscopy for foreign body removal. In this case, the patient lies supine position with the neck flexed. Look at the position of the neck, and this is laryngoscope. Laryngoscope is entering and the foreign body is coming out. Here lies the foreign body in the right mainstem bronchus. And this is a very routine laryngoscopy we do in our PICUs and everywhere in NICUs also. This is the laryngoscopy. Now turn for MCQs. Okay. Who will answer? Most common cause of congenital stridor in children. Say. Laryngomalacia. Very good. Now, most common causative organism of croup. Parainfluenza virus type 1. Okay. Name the radiological sign. Thumb sign. Okay. Omega shaped epiglottis is seen in. কিসে পাওয়া যায়? কোনটা? Laryngomalacia, omega shaped epiglottis. Okay. Heimlich maneuver is used in treatment of foreign body aspiration. Very good. একজনের ওমেগা শেপেড এপিগ্লটিস নিয়ে একটু কনফিউশন দেখলাম, দেখাচ্ছি। এইটা হচ্ছে ওমেগা সাইনটা মনে কর, ঠিক আছে? তাহলে ইজ জাস্ট লাইক ওমেগা, জাস্ট লুক এট দিস, ওমেগা শেপেড এপিগ্লটিস। আন্ডারস্টুড? Okay, thank you so much.